Welcome to the Be That Healing Girl podcast. And today on this episode, we're going to talk about what to do when your anxious attachment is triggered. Trigger City, y'all. And everybody's triggers can look a little different. So we're going to talk and just kind of dive into a handful of them. And then I'm going to give you the eagle eye view of what I really see just needs to happen in order for you to manage to navigate those triggers. So if you overthink, if you are over apologizing, over explaining, if you are just freaking out when you're having a fight or there's something minor's happening and you have to fix it, then this episode is for you. And if you're new here, my name is Claire and I am a relationship coach, and I love supporting overachieving, high-performing girlies who y'all are just doing the career thing. You are either climbing the corporate ladder, you are an entrepreneur with maybe one or more businesses, that's like not uncommon over here, or maybe you're an academic and you are in some kind of medical school, maybe you are a doctor, psychotherapist, any of those, and you can get it done, right? You can GSD like no other, but you are not getting it done in relationship. You are feeling anxious. You are feeling like logically in your head, you know that you shouldn't be freaking out or having anxiety, but you still are. So if that is you, you are in the right place. And if you are enjoying this episode or any other episodes, hitting the 5-star review is seriously so powerful. I cannot tell you that, yes, I'm in this amazing little studio that I created, but it sometimes feels like I'm just like yelling into the void. So when you hit the 5-star, it actually is like I can feel the high five through the podcast. So thanks for doing that. And just a quick little announcement about if you are in this healing journey and you are feeling really alone, I am so excited because the Healing Girl Gang is getting underway. And whether you are listening to this podcast as it's first coming out, or maybe this is months later, the Healing Girl Gang is where you want to be, honey. And right now it's free. It's free right now. And it's free for now, because what's happening for the girlies that are hopping in, you're going to be an OG, you're going to be an original gangsta in the Healing Girl Gang. And there's some definite perks to that. You're going to get a free course, Chaos to Calm. It's a collection of exercises to help you calm down. When you feel those triggers, there's going to be a specialized training. So there's a lot of freebies for being an OG. And when you do that, when you give your feedback, I'm taking all the feedback and I am playing with a membership, because healing is something that I know I'm here on this planet to help with your anxiety and your relationship. And if you are just wanting to work together and you've been waiting for an opportunity that's more budget friendly, then the Healing Girl Gang is it for you. I'll put more details in the show notes. And if you're watching my IG stories, you'll see all of this kind of coming out. I think there's 300 plus women already in the group, and I can't wait. So lots of good things and more to come on that. I'll put those in the notes. So let's dive into these triggers and what to do when you are triggered with your anxious attachment, relationship anxiety. And I want to just go over what I consider to be triggers, and I kind of touched on them, but I want to go a little bit deeper. So I'll just hit like the main ones that I know especially are important, and I see girlies who are overachievers, who are high performers, and I just see this time and time again. The first one is overthinking. So you are ruminating, you are second guessing what you said, what you texted, the conversation, right? And you're just in your head and you're thinking, oh my gosh, are they going to leave me? Are they going to just get bored with me? And this is so funny because I just got a new client, and as we were talking and she was saying, oh, she's feeling so heard. And the thing that she shared was that they've been together for 4 years. Like, just like we both were kind of laughing at, there literally is no reason that he is giving her to overthink these things. And her mental jujitsu inside her brain is, she logically knows around the overthinking that that's not what's happening, but she still can't help but overthink. So that's a sign to me that she's triggered, like there's a trigger there. So overthinking is one version. The next one is around word vomiting, over communicating, over explaining, over apologizing. I mean, this is something that I would do all the time. in the past where something small would happen and really there was nothing to apologize for, but I felt like I had to, that somehow it was my fault, and that if I could just apologize and make it better and just explain what was happening, that it would make everything go away, or make them stay. That's one trigger. Another one is, this is one for me that I really haven't heard anybody else talk about it. And if you resonate with it, just send me a DM. But I call this a flail. And for me, a flail would happen when there would be a fight, or just even like, I wouldn't even say fight. Something minor happens. Maybe we're not seeing eye to eye, and there's just friction. Let's just say that. And I would feel this like literal physical flail. Like I had to just like claw my way to make it better and to fix it. And when I talk to my clients about this, and this is something that I specifically have created in my process in the Confidence Code, which is a self-study course, but what is actually happening in that moment of the flail of I have to fix it. Something is broken. I am broken. I did something wrong. I have to fix it. And it felt like literally, it feels like a clawing. Like I just had to get out of this feeling, or emotionally, like it feels like, I hate to say this, but like you're going to like not do, like die. I don't know if I can say this on the podcast, but I don't know. It's my podcast. I can say whatever I want. But literally it feels like just like immediate threat, something bad's going to happen, and I'm just trying to flail like a drowning person to make it better. So those are just some examples of triggers, and there's many of them, but those are like the big ones, especially if you're in this community around me following this content. So I just want to break this down, and I know that I've got many videos that have kind of gone viral in this, but I want to just speak about the trigger specifically in that freak out moment. And this is something that I say to my clients a lot, and which is why it's so important that you have a process to go through when it's happening. But the trigger is not about what's happening in the moment. And I will say that again. The trigger is not actually what's happening in the moment. That's what it's a trigger. The trigger is activating something from your past. Okay? Something from your past. The sneaky thing about triggers is that we get really convinced, we get really justified, we get really just like, that it's, no, this person did this and they're wrong, da 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 da. If it is really activating for you, where you feel your emotions are dialed up, you feel a sense of urgency, that's also a sign that a trigger is happening. There's a sense of urgency. There's like a snap, that it's not about the trigger. The trigger is all about your past. It's all about a wound that is getting activated. And this is why having a process and having support is so important, because it can feel like when you're triggered, it can feel like if you've ever had necklaces that are in a knot and you're getting ready to leave and walk out the door, but you just kind of get an accessory on and you're just trying to untangle this necklace knot. And it's like, oh, just can't even get it. And you just say, never mind, no necklace, whatever. That's exactly what it's like in the trigger. Now, that's different with the necklace knot if you have plenty of time. Oh, okay, I can kind of okay, this chain goes over here, and ooh, this is like silver, it's not gold. So in that moment of frustration and urgency, we get really convinced and activated that the trigger is about the other person, it's about the event, it's about the situation at hand, and in reality, that is not what's happening. The trigger is about the past. And this is why it's so important. When I walk clients through, whether it's one-on-one or in the Confidence Code, this is why understanding on the mind level, this is why it's helpful. Now, this is also why I will say that just knowing your past, and I will just say this very carefully, because I myself have gone to therapy and counseling ever since I was 16, okay? Also, my clients, a lot of them are currently in therapy when they work with me. And I have a lot of respect for it. It's also why at a certain point in my therapy and counseling journey, it just wasn't working anymore, because we can't just intellectualize what's happened to us. That's not going to help. All right, at a certain point. And those of you who are in that spot, you can feel it. And so understanding on an intellectual level is a piece of what you need to be doing when you are triggered, because yes, understanding your past is important, but it's not the only piece. So knowing that the trigger is about the past is one facet. And by the way, healing is multi-layered and multi-dimensional, okay? This is like the difference between the best chocolate chip cookie that you've ever had and like, something that you made. I'm a elder millennial, but like we used to have these like baking, I forget what this is called. Somebody DM me this, but you would get, it was like a little mini oven, and you could like make little mini cookies, and those were fun, and there was like a play thing, but it was actually an oven. But you're not making the best chocolate chip cookie you've ever had in a play oven. All right, like you're just not. And that is because I really see healing, it is kind of a recipe where you want not just like butter from the convenience store. You would love grass-fed butter, right? Like these different ingredients need to be layered together and put together to make that amazing cookie. So I'm just saying that this is, if we can't understand that about our healing, then we're gonna get like easy bake. Oh, that's what it is. Easy bake oven. Yay me. Easy bake oven style cookies. It's not gonna be the best cookie you ever had. Okay, your healing is not gonna be at its maximum, and you're not going to feel calm, you're not going to feel secure and safe with a great person, or unless you're doing this multi-layered approach. So understanding your trigger is about the past, that knowing that intellectually is important. Now the next piece is understanding that when you are triggered, how to respond and not to react. How to respond instead of react. And I will tell you, a lot of us, myself in the past included, I was just reacting like crazy. And just kind of, you see those little puppets, like the nuns, and they're just like jabbing, like they just like, bah, bah, bah. That's what I mean by reaction, where you're just kind of like a nipping and biting like a scared little animal, just like, that's backed into a corner instead of responding. And one of the key components in being able to respond and not react is to cultivate observational awareness. So what I mean by observational awareness, this is a bit of like the spiritual aspect where you can be aware that you are not your thoughts, you are not your body. And when we have and cultivate and grow the muscles to create more observation of our feelings, more observation instead of, if I can observe my feelings, I'm not in my feelings. If I can observe my thoughts as they come in and out, I'm not in my thoughts. That's where the spiraling comes in. So creating and cultivating observational awareness is so important for you to respond instead of reacting. And reaction is not great. Like, we don't get good results and we don't build connection when we're in a reactive state. Okay, so even if our person's a really great person, they have all the green flags, if we are over here on our end just reacting and being reactive, that'll wear on anybody, right? Would you want to be around somebody who's extremely reactive or reacts to anything? I doubt you do. So it's about our ability to cultivate how we respond, which is all based in observational awareness. And I just want to say something about the first point, which is about the triggers about the past. This is also why getting to the root of your wound is so important. A lot of us, again, just try to fix the trigger in the moment. If I could just get him to text me back, I'll feel better. If I can just get him to apologize, I'll feel better. If I can just date a person who is secure and not avoidant, I will feel better. That's not how it's going to work. And unironically, you will attract those people with the tendencies that trigger the hell out of you because you're the common denominator. I say this with love, but you are the source. We are the source of our reality, how we perceive things, what we attract to us. So yeah, you can try those things. You can get him to tell him to text you more. You can date another person, but at the core of it, you're the common denominator. Okay. So the triggers in the past, we want to learn how to respond instead of react. The third piece that I think is so important in what to do when your anxious attachment is triggered is to understand how to connect and calm in the moment the past with the present. All right. And I see this as more of the body aspect, which is what makes my approach to healing anxious attachment mine, and also what gets people insane results when I see people do when I walk them through the confidence code. But the ability to be able to connect and calm in the present moment while understanding the patterns of your past is so important, because straight up, you cannot outwill your subconscious, and you cannot force calm in an activated nervous system. Okay, so it doesn't really matter all the things that you know, and if you know your past, if you're not able to connect the dots. And this is what I see so often with women that are in my comments and that follow. And yes, you can do all these things. You can save all the social media posts. You can listen to all the podcasts. But until you are connecting the dots, it's just going to be a bit of information overload, because you can have all the information in the world. And literally, you could Google right now. You could Google how to heal it. And I guarantee you probably would open Google and there's you put in heal anxious attachment and it's just a bunch of purple links. The information is out there, right? This is not an unknown thing, but it is the process. It's the accountability. It's how you do something that is so important. This is like working out. You have all the information to have a healthier body, all right? You could Google all the templates, all the meal plans, whatever. But what makes the difference in how people actually heal, in why you understand what to do intellectually, but still you're getting activated and you're still getting triggered, it's how you do it. It's who you're around. It's the support that you're getting or that you're not getting, okay? So these are all really simple, but just because it's simple does not mean it's easy. So just again, as a review, your triggers are about the past. To navigate a trigger, you want to learn how to respond in a regulated and healed way. And what you want to do is connect with the present and in the calm by understanding your past. So this is literally, I talk about this all day, every day, and I love it because this was something that was so foreign to me. I did not understand this, and this is why I pour my heart, soul, and love into my community, in the Healing Girl Gang, in the Confidence Code, and this is one of the biggest things that I've done in my healing journey, is being able to take ownership and take responsibility that this is actually something that you can heal when you take the right steps and when you commit and you recommit again and again. All right, angels, I hope that this was fun for you to learn about your triggers. And I just want to say this, if you're feeling a little down around being triggered, or you're in a trigger, or you don't want to get triggered again, that the triggers are something that your consciousness, your ego created to protect you, okay? It was created to protect you. And as easily as we can create something, we can also recreate it. That's the reality. So just remember that the power is yours, and how you do something is everything, and maybe you need some help doing it. I'm sending you lots of love. Send me a DM. I believe in you. Mwah.